At Anthropic, we kind of live in two worlds, and maybe that's a mix of where both the reasonable fear and the optimism comes from. On one hand, we have families, we raise kids, you have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, trying to teach them to read. And on the other hand, I think a good chunk of us believe that in 5 to 10 years, if not sooner, we're going to have tens of millions of AI agents that are smarter than humans. And so like balancing what that world's going to be like with the daily lives of both ourselves and the communities we've served historically, it's a really odd feeling. And I don't know that there's often much to do, but put one foot in front of the other and to try to be a part of it, to shape it to go the right way. At Anthropic, we do try to keep our eyes on the risks, and we really see those as twofold. One is we need to make sure that AI does what humans want it to do. Is it going to stay aligned with our instructions? And so we have a whole field of safety research, which can really be boiled down to that simple thing. When a human wants something to do, does the AI follow whatever the human asks? That's bucket one. You really have to nail that problem. Bucket two is making sure humans ask the AI to do good things, which in some sense is a much thornier problem. That starts bordering on international relationships, great power competition, wars, and so forth. And so I think those are the two lenses when we think about fear, and when at times I've been afraid. If you imagine a world where the relative peace we've had post-Cold War is threatened because of great power AI conflict, that's something we think about deeply. One thing I've learned being in the tech world is it's like ruthless. Like people love to compete, they love to drop products, they try to win. And so what we've tried to do from a safety perspective is create a theory of change, which we call race to the top, which is, can we get companies at the frontier competing on something that's not just commercial outcomes, that we're going to compete heavily there. And so what we're trying to instill is a sense of competition and ideally leadership coming from Anthropic around safety, transparency, and some of these societal values, the way we're also trying to compete in the for-profit world. And there were two technological advances that really allowed me to squint and potentially see a world where in 5 to 10 years, nearly every person in the world could have access to high quality and affordable primary care. The first one is a technological advance we've all lived through, the Zoom video screen. So one of the big problems in rural health is they're all over, transportation's not good. You have one doctor in the district and they have to drive to each one. So maybe they can only get to each clinic once a week. Now, if you can zoom in, the doctor can stay in the district headquarters and can just zoom in to all the various primary care outposts. That innovation of itself is game-changing for what those clinics are doing. And then the second thing, and the reason we were there, is starting to look at AI diagnostics tools. A lot of those clinics are run by nurses or community healthcare workers, and there's not always a doctor in the room. And so can we upskill them through AI? And through SAND, we've been able to do that, where now they have AI tools at their availability. So they might not always need the doctor. And I don't think we're that far away from the community healthcare worker plus AI being as good as the average doctor in those rural environments. What we're really unlocking is the amount of intelligence that can be thrown at hard problems. And if we can get that right and we can avoid the downsides, I think that's the root reason to be optimistic, is the key driver of a lot of human innovation has been intelligence, and we're just going to have a whole lot more of that to work with.